Introducing the Open Palm Podcast, hosted by Jerome Shaw. Available today on your favorite podcasting platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor.fm, and many more. The Open Palm Podcast, where the host engages his listeners with inspirational messages, motivating themes, and thought-provoking ideas. Topics include: make more mistakes, how much is your value, don't get right, get going, learning to let go, excellence is a habit, and more. Binge listen today. Subscribe today. It's getting excellent ratings. That's the Open Palm Podcast, hosted by Jerome Shaw. You can also find it on YouTube. Make sure you share it with your social networks and connect on Twitter and Instagram at Jerome Shaw. That's the Open Palm Podcast with Jerome Shaw. Available today on your favorite podcasting platforms. Go listen, download, and subscribe now.
My friend, I have a poem for you by Dr. Benjamin E. Mays. I have only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it. Forced upon me, can't refuse it. Didn't seek it, didn't choose it. But it's up to me to use it. I must suffer if I lose it. Give account if I abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but eternity is in it. What does this poem mean to you, my friend? Just a tiny little minute, but eternity is in it. Are you paying attention to your minute, my friend? The minute that you have right now. Of course, I thank you for sharing your time with me as I'm doing the same with you. Time is the most precious thing that we have, for we cannot get it back. But I remember hearing that Warren Buffett noticed one day, as he was walking in a familiar place, he passed by a group of individuals who were arguing about some sort of sports game, maybe baseball or football, but they were really debating about it. And then he went and he sat where he usually sat and started to read a book. And as he read, he learned something new and was enthused in the book. And after he finished reading, it was a little later on, maybe an hour or two had gone by, and he got up and he walked back from where he came, noticing that as he passed by the same spot, the same individuals who he noticed were arguing about the game earlier were still standing in the very same spot, arguing and debating on the same game. And when he noticed this, a sudden realization occurred to him. A moment of clarity, or an epiphany, sprung upon him, that he realized that in the amount of time that one person makes progress is the same amount of time that other people stay exactly where they are. And this difference, once it became known to him, would shape the course of his life. That story really speaks to me as I realize that oftentimes we have a choice on how we spend the minutes in our day. But it's often tough for us to notice the minute passing us by, because that minute becomes an hour, and those hours become days, but those days unwatched become weeks, and those weeks become months, which become years. And if we spend years like this, my friend, it can change our whole life forever, for positive or negative. There's no discrimination when it comes to the time that we use, if it is valuable or not. So watching the minutes, my friend, watching the minutes in your day and knowing that every minute counts, even the ones that you don't think, they still count, my friend. They are still counting. So I urge you, my friend, pay attention to the minutes. Notice what is going on in the background. Notice where you are in the present moment. If we are always ruminating or dwelling on the past, ruminating on the future, thinking about things that aren't happening right now, our minutes start to escape us. They are flying away like butterflies that we can't seem to catch or hold on to. But it is the minute, my friend, the minute that makes everything possible. It all starts as a thought. But if we don't watch the minutes, we start to have the same thoughts from the previous day, and the previous day, and the previous day. They say that around 90% of the thoughts that we think today are the same ones we thought yesterday. When will you break that pattern if it needs to be broken? No one can do it for you, my friend. Be the change that you wish to see and monitor your minute. Having minute mastery in this way can be a magnificent change for your life. Thank you for listening, my friend. This has been Jerome Shaw on TOP, that is the Open Palm Podcast here in San Antonio, Texas. The Open Palm means harmony with the world, understanding our place in the world, using our skills accordingly, greeting the world with an open palm instead of a closed fist. I pray that you received a special message today, letting you know that it's okay to monitor the minute to see what are you doing in this moment, and that in monitoring it in this way, it can make for a more fulfilling and substantial lifetime. Share this episode with a like-minded individual who is learning and growing and watching their minutes, being mindful, just like you. Many have asked how they can support the podcast. You can definitely support it by becoming a supporter, and I invite you to do so if you gain value. Opening your browser to anchor.fm/jshaw and supporting it there is much appreciated. Even taking just a moment, just a minute of your time to give this a positive rating on whatever platform you have chosen to listen to it is much appreciated, my friend, and I thank you for that. Have a wonderful and blessed day or night wherever you are, and take care. Hey there, my friend. So you've heard about Anchor, but do you know why it's the easiest way to make a podcast? Well, first off, it's free. It allows you to use creation tools that let you record your podcast right from your phone or computer. It also distributes your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more platforms. You can even make money from your podcast with minimum listenership. It's everything you need in one place. Download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. Can't wait to hear yours. Let's see what you have to offer the world.